I like mystery stories. I'm a big fan of Agatha Christie, especially of her stories that involve poisonings. Christie knew about poisons because she had training as a pharmacist, so the stories are very believable. The Pale Horse is all about poisoning with thallium sulfate. And the story is about a hire for murder organization that does away with its victims with thallium because it is very hard to detect, and thallium poisoning can mimic a number of other diseases. But that is fiction. However, the story of Graham Young is fact. This young man poisoned a number of co-workers and relatives, eventually killing two of them. He had no malice towards his victims. He was just obsessed with poisons, and he wanted to study the effects of poisons on people. But he was caught, he was sentenced to life in prison, and he died at the age 41 of a heart attack in prison. But now we still remember him. Why? Because there have been books written about Graham Young, there have been movies made about his antics, and he even earned a place in Madame Tussauds Chamber of Horrors as a murderer, with his wax replica being put on exhibit. Now we have another real thallium murderer case. A Bulgarian doctor who emigrated to England in the early 2000s had a child with a partner. And on a trip to his homeland, that is to Bulgaria, he is reputedly to have put thallium into a carafe of coffee. And he killed his partner's father, made her and her mother very, very sick. Well, they returned to England, and obviously the partner left him, but he petitioned the court to allow him to visit the child. And this became a celebrated civil case, where the judge eventually decided that he had seen enough evidence that the doctor had indeed poisoned the coffee and killed the partner's father and made the partner and her mother sick, and decided that he was not to have visitation rights. But this was a civil case, and there's not enough criminal evidence, apparently, either in Bulgaria or in England, to mount a criminal case against him. In any case, the medical council has revoked his right to practice medicine, and I imagine that is a very good thing, because you don't want murderers practicing medicine. We'll see if this story evolves to a different conclusion, where maybe they can prove the criminal activity that indeed he had purposely put the thallium into the coffee to poison the people. Anyway, what we learned from this is that truth can be stranger than fiction. And that for today is our Cup of Joe.